Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you to everybody who watched my last video with the GT-R, and welcome to everybody that's new. Ivona asked for a shout out, so hey, what's up Ivona? Hope you're enjoying your morning coffee. Today we're continuing with our 1:18 scale unboxing and review, and once again we have a car from Solido. It seems to be a trend now that I'm opening these, and this one is the new release of the Porsche KS-R. So let's check it out. As you can see, the box is as usual, like last time. Nice clear cover on the sides and the front, so you can see the model from every kind of angle that you'd like to see it from. And then we've got this box surround, so this kind of comes apart. And then we've got these little edges. These just, hold the box in place. It's a little tricky to remove sometimes. It's kind of stuck on there pretty well. And then we've got the other side. There you go. So let's check the model out. This is, as I said, the Porsche KS-R. This is a custom built car by Solido. It was actually a special commission from the CEO of, he's the CEO of Automobile and Solido and GT Spirit, so that's quite a cool job to have. His name is Frederic Guillermo Sahuku. I really butchered that name. And he commissioned a designer called Kaisel Salim to design this car. And then they actually made a real-life version, a one-to-one actual car in 2022, I think it was unveiled. So that car was in orange, and they actually had a custom body shop that built the car. The place is called Magma Composites, and then a company called Flat 56 did some crazy engine tuning. So this car, as you can see, it's pretty prominent, is a twin turbo, so that is quite the car. And I think the overall design is quite an achievement. So this car, it comes in real life, the real car is an orange car, it's 1:1, and the orange version is available from Solido, which was their first release of this car. And then this green one was a little bit later, or kind of in conjunction with the orange. So to be honest, it was a real struggle to choose which one I want. The orange one looks a little bit more standard, like OEM. It's got chrome wheels and stuff like that, so it looks very cool, but I just had to kind of go with this green. I was really struggling with what to do, because I kind of even had to tally up, what I like about each car, and oh man, it was really tough. I ended up on the same number of tallies for both cars in different respects, so it was tricky. But anyways, I chose the green one. So here we go. This car, I'll give you my first impressions of just holding it. It's got a pretty decent weight to it. It's not very heavy, to be honest. It's kind of light for the way it looks, but it doesn't feel like strangely light. It feels like kind of on the lightish side, but not too bad. Obviously, the overall look is very, very cool. The contrast of this car with the black and the green, it looks very like tuning style, race spec sort of, style. Actually, this green color is, they might actually do a 1:1 version of this car in this green. So let's see if that happens. They do have the tooling to create one more custom car. They did consider a blue and a white as well. So maybe we get some blue and white, and maybe even some other versions. There are some other colors of it available from another brand, but it's like super expensive, and they got like silver and black. So yeah, but this is obviously the cheapest Solido one, and I mean, it's an incredibly nice looking model, I must say. It's looks super crazy. I mean, this wing just looks insane. So let's have a look at this. I'll give it a couple of different angles. I do have a rotating table. I wish I could use that, but I did try. I'll give you a bit of a lower angle here, just so you can kind of see the way the light hits off this model. I set up this ring light for you. I do have a rotating table, but unfortunately it just can't handle these heavy models. So these 1:18s are a little bit too crazy. But you can see how beautiful that paint finish is. You can see how the light's just hitting off that paint like that. And the angles of the car just looks really, really incredible. Oh man, I wish I had that rotating table. You can see it's got this really pronounced long wing at the back. It just looks crazy. I can move it a little bit like this. Look at those light lines hitting off the car. So you can see it's got this completely custom built wide body, and it just continues the overall shape of the car really elegantly. And it goes into this debumpered, like a race, almost like street spec debumpered look with the twin turbos and the 2 intakes. It's just crazy. Look at the way, you know, the roof line kind of continues down into the wing. I think they did a really nice job with this custom build. They already followed the lines of the original Porsche 930, but they just added that something extra, you know, the wide flared arches and this really crazy wide body. And then it's even got aftermarket headlights. Of course, the wheels as well. So there you go. Let's have a bit of a better look. I'll lift the car up a little bit just to be able to give you a better view, and then we can have a detailed look at everything. So there you go. Starting at the front, we've got these sort of aftermarket headlights. They've got this kind of like black look to them, almost like a smoked sort of look with the projectors in the center. And then we've got these intakes at the front as well. So the intakes have this grille on the inside, and you can see that it's actually, let me give you a bit more light here, that it's actually got like a grille texture. It's not a very deep texture, to be honest, but it is 3D, so it is there. Then we've got these front indicators, which are very nicely detailed. You can see they've got like an actual, it looks like an actual light. And then we've got this little bumper, typical of the 930. You can see like a little bit of like burring around the edges and stuff. So obviously that's comes from manufacturing, but when you're looking at something as special as this, you know, you kind of have to look past those things, because these models are not very much available from anybody. So, and these are really affordable models. It's also sitting kind of like between the like 40 to 60, 70 pound range. So, but usually on the lower end, like 40, 50 pounds, you should be able to grab one. So by that, you know, I'd say you don't have to even worry about those things. Some people are very, you know, like they don't like these sort of things. Obviously on a more expensive model, I'd be more concerned, but this one's, you can't just look past it. So here we go, some details on the wheels. Let me try and zoom in for you, give me a sec. Now, last time I did this, the camera's acting up a little bit. There you go. So let me try that. You can kind of see the details a little bit more now on the intakes as well. And then it's got the Porsche badge as well. So I thought I'd give you a bit of a zoomed in view. So let's head to the side and check out these wheels. So we've got these rotiform wheels. These were custom built for the car by Rotiform in real life. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, they were actually silver on the original car. It's got a bit of a dish, and then you can see that it's got the calipers in the background, and then the actual brake discs rotate with a wheel. And then it's got this nice little Yokohama writing in red, which is very cool because, you know, the green and red, they complement each other very nicely, so it really helps to make a bit of a difference. And the wheels also turn, so not too much, but they do turn, so there you go. Then I'll just do a quick sort of shot just so you can see the details. You can see the kind of where the door opens, and then we've got these deep sort of intakes on the side here, so that would be obviously for like the cooling of the wheels and brakes and the engine, if you could probably channel through to the engine. And then you've got this deep dish back wheel as well, which do spin, and you can see they spin pretty freely, although I did notice that the brakes do not spin, so they spin in the front but they do not in the rear. And then you've got this nice DLO, the shape of the window, and the original concept was going to have these kind of slats in here, like air outlets, but they decided it would be too crazy to tool those, you know, and very expensive, so they just decided to keep the standard windows. So going to the rear, you can see that we've got these really like wide rear wheels completely exposed with this debumpered look, and then coming from there we go to these custom tail lights that you can actually see. It says Porsche in the middle, and then it's got these two kind of little lines here for the brakes, which is very cool. And then of course KS-R. So the designer of this car is Kaisel Salim. So I mean, I don't think anyone's officially mentioned it, but I mean KS-R, I could imagine that it probably stands for Kaisel Salim. And then you can see these twin turbos here, over here, and then the air filters as well. And if we turn the model upside down, you can actually see how the pipes run from the engine, and they come out here, they turn around, and then they go into the turbos. So that's very, very cool. I like the detail that even on the bottom here, you know, they've got at least something, you know, so that's very, very cool. Then of course we've got this massive sort of like ducktail wing almost, which has got a very nice smooth kind of finish to it. You know, that it really gives a more modern sort of like design approach to it. The way, you know, these lines cut in, it just looks like a very modern sort of interpretation. So there you go, that's the top view, and you can see it's got a grille in there as well, which has a 3D texture, and then it's also got these kind of air outlets behind the window. And you can see those reflection light lines again. So of course, same thing on the other side. In the window at the front here, it also says KS, and then probably, I don't know, it says something underneath it, but it's so tiny, I think I would need glasses to see that properly. Okie dokie. As usual, these cars do have an interior. Give me a second, let me just sort it out. And open the doors, and I gotta set the camera for you guys. Give me one moment. There you go. So unfortunately this car also does not open in the front or the rear, so we cannot see the engine or the boot, but the doors do open. However, this one is a left-hand drive. I mean, it's a German car. The car was made in France, so it kind of makes sense that it's a left-hand drive. And there you go. There's not too much you can see on the interior. It is quite dark in there. let me get my torch for you, and then we can kind of see some details. There you go, that's nicely lit up. So there you go, you can see it's got a gauge cluster in there with all the needles and everything. So you can see the instrument panel. It's a little bit blurry, so give me a sec. There you go, that's a lot more focused. So you can see, you know, the gauge cluster and the whole dashboard. It's all made of just one pretty much black plastic with not too much detailing. The seats, there's no, you can't see like the seat belts or anything, not like that GTR last week. So it is quite simplistic, but I know they didn't have much time to actually build this car in real life, so that's probably why as well. So let's open this door as well. There you go. So now you can see kind of what the dashboard looks like. There you go. And you can see it's got the pedals. Everything's obviously made in 3D, so it's got the pedals, it's got all the gauges and those sort of things. And it's got a pretty much black interior. Nothing too much to see. It would have been nice, I think, to put a tiny bit of detail, maybe like some green piping on the seats, or perhaps a KS-R logo on the headrest of the seat or something like that. It's got rear seats too, you can kind of see inside there, but it's pretty simplistic, but very, very nice nonetheless. And actually the black interior doesn't even look so bad, because it kind of just gives it that overall contrasted look. So you've got the green and you've got the black just working in conjunction with each other and just giving a really, really nice contrasted look to the overall vehicle. So my final thoughts would be that for the price and for the car, how specialist this is, because, you know, it's not a mass production car, and it's a special commission. So I think it was a really good idea for them to create a model of this, just so people can admire, you know, the beauty of the design of this car, you know, on their own shelves. Obviously it's not something you see every day, and there are a lot of other companies that do wide body Porsches, you know, Gunter Works, RBW, RWB, sorry, and of course a whole bunch of other companies, you know, Singer, even Liberty Walk do wide body Porsches. So this was a very cool approach from Solido to do this KS-R, and I hope to actually see a green one in real life one day. I think this color selection is very nice, and it's got a really, really cool look to it. I mean, you can just see how striking the sort of shapes, and the kind of details, and I mean, look at that. It's just the way the lights reflect off it. Oh man, it's very cool. You can take some really great photos of this car, and it would look good among any sort of collection, even if you don't have any other Porsches. I think it's really a cool addition if you're into these kind of sports cars and stuff. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video and got a nice cool look of this custom Porsche, and I'll see you guys next time. I hope you all have a good one. Ciao.